Hey guys, I'm Pawan representing the team professional. Whenever I come, I used to say I'm happy to meet you guys, but now it's not the same because we are in a severe breakdown. It all started in the last year in the month of March. We are in a complete lockdown, and then we got to know what is wearing a mask, sanitizing, and social distance, and we guys also followed it pretty much. But now, if you see, the cases also rise so much, so severely that now currently the cases are like nearly 20 million in India alone. And then if you take the world population, it's almost crossed 125 million population who are acquired this COVID infection. So I guess we need to deal with this infection little seriously. So to explain all this, we are to cover psychiatric part. We have Dr. Arthanari Manika Vaskam, who is associate professor in Department of Psychiatry at Meenakshi Medical College. Welcome you, sir.
Very good evening to one and all present here. I would like to extend my congratulations and thanks to Team Professional Helps along with Pawan and Karthik, who had been, immense source material for creating awareness among people. They're always there whenever it comes to awareness and spreading more knowledge for people. I wouldn't say that I'm very happy about doing this. Only thing is, the only reason is because of the current situation that our country is facing. It is actually a war.
True, sir.
I
True.
don't feel it is more with the virus. I feel that it is more between our people.
Yeah, sir.
So
Uh,
we, as frontline workers, are in fact exhausted. We are very frustrated. Even at this point of time, we are doing all these things just to create awareness, just with clinging on to that one particular thing called as hope. We still
yeah,
want
sir.
to trust people. We still want to believe in people. That is exactly why we are doing this. And this particular topic is extremely important for medical students because recently there have also been talks going around that final year MBBS students will also be involved in COVID-19 patient care.
Yeah,
So
sir.
we do not know whether it will be imposed on us or not. But this particular interview, I hope that it gives enough amount of knowledge on what exactly we might be going through and what exactly we might have to deal with. So I hope it is informative and it prepares for any kind of situation. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I also hope the same. To explain the medical aspects of COVID-19 infection, we have Dr. Jainan, who is assistant professor in Department of General Medicine in Meenakshi Medical College. Welcome you, sir.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. Jayanan, Assistant Professor in Department of General Medicine in Meenakshi Medical College, Kanjipuram. I would like to express my sincere thanks to professional edits and team and mainly Dr. Pawan for giving me this opportunity. As a medicos, we and the general public has been hearing the few common terms since 2020. COVID,
Mm,
Corona, vaccines, mask, social distancing, lockdown, like that. The same terms we are hearing for the past 1 year.
true,
In
sir.
this interview, we are going to discuss in detail about the both medical and psychiatric aspects of the COVID-19 infection. I hope this interview will be helpful for all our medicos to treat and counsel the patients accordingly hereafter.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Dr. Jainan, so could you please tell us what is the difference between the first COVID-19 wave and the current wave?
There are many major differences between the first strain during the 2020 COVID-19 virus and the new strains present nowadays. Apart from the previously known strains, a double mutant varieties, two double mutant varieties has been detected in India. One from Bengal that is called as Bengal strain and one from Andhra that is detected recently that is called as Andhra strain.
Yeah, sir.
These two strains has the ability to uh, if they are very highly infectious and has the ability to skip the immunity both from natural immunity and then from the immunity developed due to the vaccines. That's why it is
Okay.
more common to see the reinfection of COVID-19 cases nowadays and the infection among the vaccinated individuals. Main thing is that previously in the old strain, older people, elderly people are commonly affected. but this current strain affects younger people more and pregnant females more.
Okay.
And
Okay.
last year and 2020 strain, the common clinical presentation includes fever, cough with expectoration, and breathlessness. But in this scenario, the new strains, the main common presentations are diarrhea, loose stools, frequent loose stools, and excessive tiredness and easy fatigability.
Okay. Okay,
These
sir.
are the common symptoms in which the new strain produces now. And one more thing, hypoxia, that is desaturation, sets in much early phase. From it starts in 4th or 5th day itself. But comparatively, previous strains it produces hypoxia only in 7th to 11th day.
Okay.
And one more thing, central nervous system symptoms, altered mental state and delirium are more common in the newer strain than the older strain.
Okay,
And not
sir.
but not the least, the prevalence of thromboembolic episodes are more common in the newer strains. So at present, without fever also, patient can present with easy fatigability and loose stools. That may be the cardinal signs of the new strains of the COVID-19 infection.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. As you said, we could just got to know like even the younger people are getting affected, and then the new mutant state are little severe also. So, being this condition, then I guess the people with comorbidities might get affected more, right, sir? So,
Yes.
what's your call on that?
Thing is that the main vulnerable group for severe COVID-19 infection, they includes male sex. Although males and females are more commonly affected by COVID-19 virus,
Okay.
male sex have more vulnerability for severe COVID-19 infection, for severe illness, followed by
Okay, sir.
elderly age. Because acute respiratory distress syndrome, ARDS, is more commonly seen in aged above 64 years.
Okay, sir.
And then coming to the other vulnerable groups like uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, accelerated hypertension, chronic kidney disease, and chronic liver disease, and the patient who are on immunosuppressive states like chronic alcohol intake,
Okay.
on immunosuppressive drugs for many conditions, and on cancer chemotherapy patients. And prior stroke, CVA, prior cerebrovascular accidents accounts to smaller group of vulnerable patients.
Okay, sir. Okay. So, I guess these people need to be little like safe. So my next question is towards you, sir. Like we see the COVID is spread via the droplet. So many ask the question like which mask we need to wear. Actually, people also don't know like how to use the mask also. So which mask you suggest them to wear in order to prevent this transmission?
Actually, at present, three types of masks are available. First is normal cloth mask. Second is surgical mask, and the third one is N95 mask. Cloth masks are usually indicated for the common public. That too, in developing countries like India, where the social distancing of 2 meters is impossible, cloth masks are mainly indicated for the general public.
Okay, sir.
It will prevent the virus transmission from asymptomatic individuals to the other persons.
Okay.
Coming to the surgical mask, it is mainly indicated for the COVID-19 affected individuals or affected patients.
Okay.
It can prevent the virus transmission from the affected patients to the other people.
Okay.
However, if it is soiled with moisture, it is of no use.
Okay.
Nowadays, they are suggesting to wear 2 surgical masks for the effective control of the COVID-19 transmission.
Okay.
Then coming to the N95 masks are mainly indicated for healthcare professionals like us, those who are treating COVID patients and those who are more in contact with the COVID-19 patients. N95 mask usually filters more than 95% of the viral particles.
Okay, sir.
So that it won't spread from us and we won't acquire from other patients. And it has 4 layered filters to filter the virus particle.
Okay, sir.
So proper N95 mask with face shield and proper personal protective equipments will prevent the virus transmission from the patients to all healthcare professionals.
Okay, sir. Okay. So as you said, it's better us to wear the double surgical mask and then with facial and proper social distancing might help us, I guess, from this situation.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
sir. Now next, my question is to Dr. Arthana, sir. Sir, we have seen the cases are increasing now currently so much, and then we are in the status of like we are not even getting the beds to get patients admitted there. Also, there is more. We are hearing the news like oxygen supplies and demand, and then beds are not available. Is that won't create any anxious issue or any issues inside the layman's mind?
See, to start with, it is the public, it is the people who have been negligent, who have been neglecting all the precautionary measures, who had contributed to this much amount of surge in this disease. That
Okay.
is the very first point that I would like to stress upon. It is something that we have neglected. You leave the government, you leave the other authorities. Doctors have been crying out for the past 1.5 years, asking people to be safe.
Hmm.
We have been foreseeing this kind of a situation right from the time we all got to know about what corona is. Code virus or coronavirus or SARS virus is not something new for doctors,
Okay.
but the severity of this illness or the severity of this disease is something new. So during the very first lockdown, everybody had so much of fear. So, and there was a lot of forceful enforcement from the government side for lockdowns. So
Yeah.
somehow we were at least successfully able to handle the first situation. But the current
True, sir.
situation has gone out of our hands.
Okay.
So first, everybody needs to understand that this is the type of situation that we have gotten ourselves into. I'm not telling
Hmm.
that people have wantedly or purposefully done something. Okay, we have
Hmm.
done a mistake, we have been negligent, and then we have gotten ourselves into this situation. You have
Okay.
gotten into this situation. After this, definitely there is going to be a lot of panic now. After coming
Hmm.
to know that gradually the number of cases has suddenly worsened to such great levels, and even the death rates are becoming more, and medical facilities are also very sparse. So
Hmm.
all these
Yeah.
things have contributed to something called as COVID anxiety.
Okay.
Okay, post-COVID anxiety, we are going through this. While we are going through itself, we have people are suffering from COVID anxiety. Okay,
Okay.
so definitely that is something that is very real. First thing is like we need to understand that proper care will be given if people organize themselves. That is
Okay.
extremely important. Just because we are anxious, just because we panic, nothing is going to happen. In fact, it will worsen whatever is happening.
Okay.
Even take it doctors, take it government, take it police, nobody will be able to help you in the right way. If they are not going to help you in the right way, it means that you're the one who is going to suffer more. So first we need to understand that this situation has come, we need to handle that. So we have to stay calm. We have to stay safe. So once that is enforced, we will be able to organize ourselves in a better way. Just because I became COVID positive, just because somebody nearby my house is turned out to be positive, you need not be immediately alarmed. You use your masks. You practice social distancing. You avoid crowding. This itself is going to ensure that you will be safer. In spite of you doing all these things, see, once you strictly adhere to all these things, there is very, very, very minimal chance that you are going to get yourself exposed to this disease. So when you strictly okay, in spite of you doing all these things, you have been exposed. So as soon as I suspect that I've gotten into I've been infected. What do I do? Go and consult a doctor in a calm way. Don't pressurize the doctor or the management of the hospital or any healthcare worker to, immediately admit you and then take utmost care for you. You have developed symptom, go there and then check. The doctor is going to advise you based on the severity of your illness. If you don't have symptoms, don't go and then test yourself without any reason. Because when you don't have symptoms, when you don't suspect, when you're not in risk of getting an infection, if you go and then wait there and then test, there is a chance that you might get infected there. Try to maintain a calm
Yes, sir.
state. It is the public's calmness which is going to be of immense help for healthcare workers. Yeah, this is my answer for your question.
Okay, sir. As you said, instead of getting anxious about the COVID-19 infection, we could try this actually. Sir, as like one part of population are getting anxious about the COVID, and other part of population is not doing anything, and then they feel alone, and then they go into state of like depression. So, what can one to do like in order to overcome this? Because we can't go out, and then many like want to go back to their routine, but it's not the time, right, sir? So, what they need to do now?
See, rather than the government enforcing a lockdown, I would plead every single person to, get into quarantine by yourself. Now, the situation is having a very high demand for keeping individuals safe so that a community becomes safer.
Okay,
So, the situation is demanding quarantine. The situation is demanding lockdown. So, we need to get into that. Of course, when you are in one place locked down for a long period of time, there are chances that you might get exposed to psychiatric illnesses like anxiety disorder or depression or even substance use disorders. All these things are acceptable. But I'm telling you, there is always a way you can handle all these things. In a way, if you're asking, okay, what will I do if I'm not going to be normal? I'm afraid that if I spend more time in my house, I'm not going to become normal. We have lost our normalcy for the past 2 years because of most of our negligence.
mm,
It is not only the ones who had been negligent, even the
okay,
ones who strictly adhere to all the precautions are being exposed to lot of risks because of other people's negligence. Okay,
okay,
so please don't even think that you do not need a lockdown. How can I go through the same thing again? We need to go through this. While we were children, we always wanted to enjoy a lot of leaves rather than
mm,
going to school. Even while we were going for office or our work site before 2 years, we always wanted more time for our family.
to stay in the
So
homes, yeah,
nature is giving you a beautiful opportunity for you to set things straight now.
yeah,
So instead of trying to keep on be brooding about what am I going to do, what if I get depressed, please do spend time with your loved ones. Divert divert your attention to things which will actually give you much pleasure than alcohol or whatever it might be.
okay,
Work from homes are there. Do that. Spend time with your family. Discuss a lot of things. That itself is going to keep you happy and calm. I would say this is the best idea. Do gardening. Plant some trees just around your house. It's not like you need not go out of your house at all. It is safe to get out of your house. In your own vicinity, you can do many things you can do. There is a lot of
okay,
home-based jobs that are available. You can do that. So involve yourself in any kind of activity that keeps you occupied.
okay,
So the more you're occupied, there is no room for depression or anxiety to set in.
okay, sir.
So keep working.
Sure, sir. Sure. As you said, we try to follow and then keep ourselves active enough. So my next question is to Dr. Jainan, sir. So we are now seeing in the current strain that many are being RT-PCR negative. So what it actually tells us, like what we need to do if someone is RT-PCR negative.
Okay. RT-PCR refers to real-time polymerase chain reaction.
Okay.
It acts by detecting the antigen of the SARS-CoV-2 virus and confirms the active infection of COVID virus from patient specimen. Most of the time, it may be positive, but
Okay.
it may be negative in some cases. RT-PCR can be negative if the sample is taken in the early stage of the viral replication.
Okay.
Or if it is taken in the inaccurate methods or not proper methods, RT-PCR can be negative.
Okay, sir.
And one more thing, as I said already, the double mutant strain, both Bengal and Andhra strain, skips the RTR positivity.
Okay.
Okay, skips the RTR positivity and may go under-detected in the RT-PCR test. In
Okay,
those settings, we should mainly rely on the clinical features.
Hmm.
And if needed, some inflammatory markers and CT chest.
Okay.
Mainly, we have to rely on these three. If even RT-PCR is negative, we have to rely on the blood test, clinical features, and CT chest findings.
Okay, sir.
We have to treat the patient accordingly. This is one
Okay.
way. Another
Sir,
way, even if first PCR is negative, we have to, in spite of that, patient is highly suspicious of COVID-19 infection, we have to repeat the RT-PCR in another second day or third day.
Okay.
If it is positive, we can treat accordingly. If it is negative, again we have to rely on clinical features, blood investigation, and CT chest findings and treat
yes.
accordingly.
Okay, sir.
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt, Dr. Jain. I have a small question for you.
Tell me, sir.
Hello. I have
Yes,
I
sir.
have a
You're
question for
audible.
you. Now, in the media and newspaper recently, it has been released that because a lot of people have a lot of misconception about it. They say that major spread might be from the CT scan centers that we are going and then taking. That is one question. And what is the risk that is involved in people who are going and then taking CT scan? Because now they have started spreading messages like one CT is equal to 400 X-rays, 500 X-rays. When a doctor comes and then says it
Correct,
is
sir.
equal to 300 X-rays, the media
300
portrays it
correct, sir.
as 450 X-rays.
Yes,
So
sir.
that is the reality. So many people are confused about going and taking an X-ray, the ones who are having symptoms. On the other hand, people who are just anxious that they might be having are going and repeatedly taking CTs.
Yes, sir.
So could you please give us some information about the risks of CT and risk of spread of infection while taking CT?
Okay.
Sir, as you said, whatever you said is correct, sir. A recent study, they stated that COVID-19 transmission is more in the CT room, sir, if not fumigated well. CT
Okay.
scan is not indicated for all COVID-19 patients. It is indicated only in persons who are hospitalized and those who have saturation level less than 90 to 94% with severe clinical features. Actually, CT should be done only with the doctor's prescription. But people, in spite of anxiety, they're doing CT scan, they're taking repeated CT scans without our prescription in many scan centers. Actually, that is not indicated, sir. Even, for example, in our hospital setting, in our hospital setting in CT room, what they're doing is, now morning till 12 o'clock, they're doing CT for normal patients, sir, other patients. Then 12 to 2 o'clock, they're doing CT for suspected patients, COVID suspected patients. And then they're fumigating the CT room, entire CT room. After 2, they're doing CT for positive patients. And then again they're fumigating. If more number of fumigation reduces the risk of COVID-19 transmission, sir. But various CT centers present around the country, they are not following the strict fumigation protocols.
Okay.
So government should strictly ban those centers to prevent further COVID-19 transmission, and they should put a rule that CT scan should be taken only based on doctor's prescription and only those who are hospitalized and having
Okay.
severe hypoxia.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Is it clear, sir?
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you, sir. So my next question to Dr. Jain is, sir, what is the gold standard investigation modalities for COVID-19? And then how do you classify based on the severity of the disease? Like, yeah.
Actually, the gold standard modality for diagnosing COVID-19 is real-time RT-PCR only. But
Okay.
thing is that if the sample is taken from nasopharyngeal region, the positivity rate is only 63%.
Okay.
Whereas the samples taken from oropharyngeal region, the positivity rate is only 25% to 28%. So
Okay.
government has advised to take samples from both nasopharyngeal and oropharyngeal regions so that the
Okay.
positivity rate can be higher.
Okay.
So mainly the gold standard investigation is RT-PCR, and then
Okay.
accordingly by other investigation we can classify into mild, moderate, and severe disease.
Okay.
First, coming to the inflammatory markers. First, I'll tell COVID has two phases. First is viral phase, followed by inflammatory phase. In viral phase, viral replication occurs. It occurs for first 7 to 9 days, followed by inflammatory phase occurs. In this, the host immunity acts according to our inflammatory response.
Okay.
So, some of the inflammatory markers are elevated, mainly C-reactive protein, CRP, lactate dehydrogenase, LDH, ferritin, and D-dimer.
Okay.
And last, IL-6, interleukin 6.
Okay.
Normal levels of CRP are less than 6.
Okay.
Okay. If the CRP level falls from 10 to 50, that is called as mild disease.
Okay,
If
sir.
it is 50 to 100, it comes under moderate disease. If it is more than 100, it is classified as severe COVID-19. Coming to the ferritin, normal levels are 15 to 200. If it is ferritin values are between 400 to 600, that comes under mild. 600 to 1500, it comes under moderate. More than 1500, it comes under severe disease.
Okay.
Coming to the lactate dehydrogenase, that is also inflammatory marker. Normal levels are below 250. So
Okay.
levels between 250 to 300, it is called as mild COVID-19 disease. 300 to
Okay.
500, it is categorized as moderate. Above 500, it is categorized as severe disease. Coming to the D-dimer
Okay.
values, normal D-dimer value is less than 0.5. So 0.5 to 1, between 0.5 to 1 D-dimer value, that comes under mild, and then 1 to 1.5 it comes under moderate. More than 1.5 D-dimer comes under severe disease.
Okay.
Likewise, interleukin 6. Normal levels are less than 7. So 8 to 20, it comes under mild disease. 20 to 100, it comes under moderate. More than 100, it comes under severe disease. So
Okay,
we
sir.
can classify COVID-19 infection into mild, moderate, and severe, mainly based on the inflammatory markers.
Okay, sir.
Then one more thing,
Okay.
coming to the CT chest findings. Actually, CT find each lobe they will score 5. And based on the involvement of each lobe, they will score between 1 to 5 for each lobe. So
Okay,
right
sir.
side, upper, middle, and lower. Left side, upper and lower lobes. So
Okay.
5 into 5, total score 25.
Okay.
Among that, if it is score is less than 8, that comes under mild category, mild COVID-19 infection. Score between 9 to 15, it comes under moderate, whereas score more than 15, it comes under severe disease.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So based on the severity, treatment regimen varies.
Okay, sir.
So the categorization into mild, moderate, and severe is must for all COVID patients.
Okay, sir. Before we thought the only investigation method we thought is only RT-PCR and CT, but now we
Huh.
explain the other methods also. So by this, I'm going to ask you the next question also. Like we are
Hmm.
nowadays, we are seeing many people in the home they are using pulse oximeter.
Hmm.
So I think a general audience or maybe the medicals are having less awareness about it. So how we need to use it, sir? So how frequently we need to check it up?
For asymptomatic patients, normal asymptomatic COVID-19 patients, COVID-19 positive patient, normal SpO2 should be above 97.
Okay, sir.
Okay. For mildly asymptomatic patient, it should be between 94 and 97. So alarming
Oh,
saturation levels, we should be alarming is less than 94% saturation of
okay, sir.
oxygen. Okay. For thing is that for asymptomatic patient, we can monitor 3 times to 4 times a day. For
Okay,
example, before breakfast, before lunch, or before dinner, and one reading before night.
okay, sir.
For moderate patients, every fourth hourly we have to monitor the saturation levels.
Okay, sir.
With the one thing is that now we have to measure the saturation level, start reading, followed by 6 minute walking.
Okay.
After 6 minute walking, if there is a 5% reduction in saturation level, that accounts for severe COVID-19 infection. So
Okay.
we have to get hospitalized immediately.
Okay, sir.
So main
Okay.
thing is that start saturation reading and then reading after 6 minute walking test.
Okay, sir. Okay.
That is the main thing.
Okay, sir. So, sir, when Dr. Jaina sir said about the pulse oximeter, and my question is to Dr. Artana sir. So, people when they like maybe the like oxygen level also get decreased in other diseases also. Maybe if their oxygen level is going like 94, they'll be anxious, no, sir, like whether I'm COVID positive or something like that. Also, the people starts thinking. So, what we need to do, like to put this up end?
Yeah, see, any disease, it is not only COVID-19, any disease is anxiety provoking only.
Okay, sir.
Just because we are highlighting on this particular disease, so the
Mm,
major symptom is that your saturation level is dropping.
true, sir.
The
True.
moment you come to know about one particular symptom, it does not mean that it has to be this.
Yeah, sir. Yeah.
If weight loss is there, if there is going to be breathing difficulty, even in immunocompromised patients, it can happen.
Yeah,
For
sir.
patients who are having tuberculosis, it can happen. For patients who are having psychiatric comorbidity, it can happen. Hyperventilation. In fact, hyperventilation itself can cause a drop in saturation.
Mm.
Some people, when they are anxious, when they are stressed, they hyperventilate. That
Yeah,
itself can cause, that is causing strain on your lungs. Yeah.
true,
So
sir.
that itself can cause. Trauma can
Okay.
cause. So anything can cause. Okay. just by uh, just because you know one symptom, it does not mean it has to be this disease only.
Yes, sir.
That is where you have to see, if you are anxious about you having one particular disease, go and then confirm whether you are having it or not.
True, sir.
That has to be done once.
Yes, sir.
And when you go to a doctor, the doctor will be able to elicit what kind of an illness you are having. So after a doctor elicits and examines you, he comes to a conclusion and then asks you to do certain tests
Yeah.
and starts you on certain medication. This is the best possible way to bring down everybody's anxiety
Unnecessary. Yeah.
for a common person. For a person who's suffering from anxiety disorder, he is
Okay.
going to keep on be clinging on to the pulse oximeter.
Mm.
They don't understand that even pulse oximeter is a machine.
Mm.
If you keep checking it every single minute, every 2 minutes once, every 3 minutes once, if you're going to keep on checking it, that consumes power and it might become defective also.
True, sir.
Is it not?
Also, maybe OCD patients might do it more frequently, I guess, no, sir.
Yeah, that's what precisely the point. If the OCD patient is doing something like this, he needs to treat his OCD
Yeah.
rather than trying to, focus on this.
Okay.
And what are the other side effects of this? The more you keep on checking, your anxiety increases. You
Hmm.
go and keep frequently testing yourself for COVID infection, repeated scans, repeated blood
Blood
investigations
test.
or
Yeah.
nasopharyngeal swabs.
Swaps. Yeah.
That itself can cause a lot of damage to your nasopharynx. No, you keep on
Hmm.
be doing one test.
Yeah,
That
sir.
is, multiple tests also can cause damage. And what is even more dangerous, you can get yourself infected.
Hmm.
So if you have anxiety disorder, if you have obsessive compulsive disorder, or if you have any kind of psychological issue, try to consult a psychiatrist first.
Okay.
And at this platform, I would like to educate people, because even doctors, they do not have much of understanding between, they do not know how to differentiate between a psychiatrist and a psychologist.
Correct.
Okay.
Psychiatrist is a person who has to finish MBBS for 5 years. After that, he has to do MD in psychiatry. So he is a registered medical practitioner who is a specialist in the field of psychiatry. So he is the one who is eligible and who is equipped to evaluate you and diagnose you and start you with medicines.
Hmm.
The doctor who has seen you will advise you to go and meet a psychologist for therapy.
Hmm.
And not every disease has the same therapy.
Okay.
Different OCD has different therapy, anxiety has different therapy, schizophrenia has different therapy, mental retardation has different therapy. So
Okay.
the doctor decides what kind of a therapy the patient has to undergo. To reduce the workload, psychologists are helping to.
Hmm.
They
Yeah,
are
sir.
our co-workers, they are allied people who will be trained and who will have a lot of knowledge about those assessments or those psychological intervention. People
Okay.
do not know how to differentiate between these.
Okay.
With all due respect to a lot of very good, eminent psychologists who are practicing, who are our colleagues, I would like to stress upon this point that there are a lot of psychologists who do a lot of malpractice. They try to intervene in the treatment. They try to convince the patient that everything can be sorted out just with counseling.
Correct, sir.
It is not possible.
Okay.
If counseling is something that is 100% going to work for every single person, we all wouldn't have become like this. Have we listened to our parents? Have we listened to our grandparents? That is a sort of counseling, is it not? So if we have had the patience for all those things, we would have brought upon changes much, much long before. So
Okay.
don't, expose yourself to somebody who can mislead you.
Okay.
Okay, if you have some issue, if you want to discuss, consult a psychiatrist. They are anyways going to refer you to a psychologist.
Okay.
At least you will be under watch. What kind of treatment is going, what you are getting exposed yourself into.
Okay.
So this is the right time for you to choose the right option.
Okay, sir. Okay.
You can choose
So,
the right option only when you know about it.
yeah.
So meet a psychiatrist first. According to their advice, go to a psychologist.
Yeah, sir.
Correct.
Well
Then you
said.
will get the best
Uh,
care.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. I will try. Sir, my next question, Dr. Chainan. Sir, we
Yes,
just
sir.
now classify based COVID-19 infection based on the severity. So,
Yes,
what's
sir.
the treatment protocol for the COVID-19 patient based on the severity of the disease? Yeah.
Okay. To be frank, there is no proper or approved drug for exact treatment of the COVID-19 infection.
Okay, sir.
We are just going to treat the patient according to the symptoms.
Okay.
For asymptomatic individuals, we are not going to give any medications.
Okay.
Only we are going to encourage adequate oral hydration. Coming to
Okay.
the mild group, mild COVID-19 infection group, as I said before, we are going to encourage them to take adequate oral fluids.
Okay.
And we are going to start tablet azithromycin 500 milligram once daily for 5 days.
Okay.
This has no role in preventing COVID-19, but it reduces or prevents the secondary bacterial infections.
Okay.
And then if fever persists, we are going to give paracetamol SOS.
Okay.
Based on the grades of fever, dose varied from 500 milligram to 650 milligram.
Okay, sir.
And then we are going to just to increase immunity, we are going to add tablet vitamin C and zinc sulfate
Okay, sir.
once daily for around 14 days to 21 days based on the patient to patient. And we are going to give antitussives if cough persists.
Okay.
Coming to the moderate group, those who are hospitalized, instead of azithromycin, we are going to give cephalosporins, injectable cephalosporins like IV ceftriaxone, 2 gram IV OD. This is also to prevent bacterial infection. In addition to that, we are going to give vitamin C, zinc as for mild infection. In addition to ceftriaxone, vitamin C and zinc, we are going to start steroids, either dexamethasone or prednisolone or methylprednisolone for all hospitalized patients. Steroids mainly reduces the inflammation caused by the COVID-19 virus during the inflammatory phase of the infection. That is the second phase of the COVID-19 infection.
Okay.
And one more thing, in moderate cases, we are going to start low molecular weight heparin.
Okay.
Anticoagulation, mainly to prevent the thrombotic complications of the COVID-19 infection.
Okay, sir.
Injectable is preferred over oral in hospitalized patients, mainly enoxaparin. It's a low molecular weight heparin, enoxaparin, 0.4 to 0.6 milligram OD, either subcutaneous or IV route.
Okay.
Coming to the severe infection, instead of cephalosporin, we are going to add further higher antibiotics like piperacillin and tazobactam.
Okay.
These prevent mainly all gram positive, gram negative, and anaerobes.
Okay.
Anaerobic infection. In addition to that, steroids and low molecular weight heparin.
Okay.
And if patient is severely distressed in respiratory distress, we are going to keep oxygen. If it is not responding, in non-invasive ventilation, even if the patient doesn't respond to non-invasive ventilation, finally intubation and connecting the patient to the mechanical ventilator support. That is the final treatment for the severe COVID-19 infection.
Okay, sir.
And there are few studies going on now to treat the severe patients with antivirals, especially favipiravir and remdesivir.
Okay.
And other to reduce the interleukins, interleukin 6 inhibitors like tocilizumab and plasma therapy. The studies are still going on.
Okay, sir.
So thing is that but they are not proven drugs for treating COVID-19 infection. Mainly
sir.
one
So-
thing, as a we are going to treat the patient in a supportive way.
Okay, sir.
And symptomatic
Sir,
way.
as you said, we are going. Okay, sir. As you said, we are giving symptomatic relief to the patient, but currently now the people are like so hyped about the remdesivir drug. You also said that this drug is still in the process, but the people are so hyped and then they are getting in the black market. So what's your call on it? Whether it's a life-saving drug for COVID-19 patient?
Actually, remdesivir, it acts by a mechanism named, it blocks the RNA-dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. This enzyme mainly helps for the COVID-19 virus to replicate.
Okay.
This remdesivir exactly resembles this RNA-dependent RNA polymerase enzyme.
Okay.
So it is incorporated into the virus. Virus thinks that this drug has that RNA-dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. So the virus incorporates this in remdesivir. Finally, it blocks the RNA replication, further viral replication.
Okay.
So even if you are giving remdesivir, it should be given in the early phase. That is the viral phase in which the active viral replication occurs.
Okay.
That is during the first 7 days of the illness, symptom onset.
Okay.
Even if we give that, it won't reduce the severity of the disease, remdesivir. Neither it reduces the mortality.
Okay.
Mainly the only one advantage of the using remdesivir is it reduces the symptoms.
Okay.
For example, if the patient has symptoms of 9 days, if you are using remdesivir, it reduces the symptoms to 7 days.
Okay.
In a recent study in New England Journal of Medicine, they stated that remdesivir has no role in reducing the mortality and no role in reducing the severity of the COVID-19 disease.
Okay, sir.
But the
Okay.
study trials are still going on to prove remdesivir as an active drug for the treatment of COVID-19 infection, but still it is not the active drug
Okay.
or the perfect drug for COVID-19 treatment.
Okay.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. One more question I have
Tell me, sir.
regarding this remdesivir.
Tell me, sir.
Since you told that this is not a life-saving drug,
Okay,
but
sir.
currently you also told that it prevents the virus itself from multiplying it.
Okay, sir.
So, is there any relationship between the viral load and use of remdesivir? Because many people might misconceive this information, saying, say, for example, I'm having mild
Fever.
infection,
Okay.
or
Okay.
my symptoms are mild.
Okay.
So, if
Okay,
I
sir.
take remdesivir, my mild infection might become normal.
Normal.
Or I
Okay,
have gone
sir.
into the moderate state of the illness and I take remdesivir, it can
It
reduce
will
my
come to
symptoms to
mild
mild.
in. Okay, sir.
So, is there any temporal relationship between the viral load per se and use of remdesivir? I feel that this is important for medical students to know.
Oh, okay, sir. As I said, fact is that viral starts replicating 1 day prior to symptom onset, sir, and then 3 to 4 days after the symptom onset. So, in the initial first 5 days itself, viruses started replication and viral load increases.
Okay.
On giving remdesivir, it just prevents the further viral replication. It has no role in reducing the viral load, sir.
Okay.
And no
Also
role
does
in
not kill the
reducing the
virus.
severe,
Okay.
and it does not kill the virus. It just
Okay, sir.
prevents the viral replication. But
So,
Okay.
use of
as I
use of
said, tell me,
yeah.
sir.
So, use of remdesivir at any stage is just going to reduce the multiplication and the
Reduce the
viral
viral
load.
replication.
Yeah, it does not have any. Uh,
Life saving.
People need to understand that the viral load and the severity of the illness has got no connection between each other.
It has no role in viral load and severity, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
And the
Thanks.
thing is that only indication of remdesivir is severely hospitalized patient who have severe illness and severe hypoxia and less than
Okay.
90% saturation levels with CT showed findings more than 50% of the lung involvement.
Okay.
So it has no role in mild and moderate infection, sir. And one
Okay.
more thing, if we are adding remdesivir after 9 days of the symptom onset, it has 0% role.
Okay.
It has no role when given during inflammatory phase.
Okay.
Okay, it acts mainly on the viral phase, that is the first 7 days of illness.
Okay, sir. Okay. So
So even
that was
recently government of India also released a circular stating that remdesivir is no longer a life-saving drug,
okay.
and we should use this with caution.
Okay.
Mm.
So I guess clear about the hype created in the media. So my next question is to Dr. Jainan, sir. Sir, and
Yeah.
also we are hearing about the plasma donation of the COVID-19 patients. Is that every COVID-19 patient who is in the intensive care need the plasma therapy for them?
Actually saying plasma therapy also has no role in treating active severe COVID-19 infection.
Okay, sir.
It is
Okay.
also under trial.
Hmm.
Okay. Convalescent plasma therapy can be considered in elder patients more than 75 years of age or more than 65 years with comorbidities,
Okay.
presenting within 3 days of symptom onset.
Okay.
If it is more than 5 days, no role of giving convalescent plasma therapy.
Okay.
And the plasma should be taken from the COVID-19 patient with a high antibody, that is IgG titers.
Okay.
Okay. Now, a recent study, which is a open label phase 2 clinical trial. It's called as PLACID trial. This states plasma therapy was not associated with the reduction in progression of the severity of the COVID-19 disease, as well as it does not reduces the mortality also.
Okay.
It is exactly like remdesivir only. It has no role in
Okay.
reducing the severity and no role in mortality also.
Okay. So, okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Uh,
Sir, Dr. Arthana, sir, my next question is to you. Now, Dr. Jain has cleared that remdesivir need to be given at a particular period of the COVID-19 infection, but the people have been like buying it from many places, not only the remdesivir, even the plasma therapy, and then during the start of the first wave, everyone are like taking chloroquine drug as they thought like it will be a prophylactic measures. So, being this is the situation, what do you want to tell to the people, sir?
Yeah, from the beginning till now, we have always been telling that we release certain information that this is working and that is working just to create awareness and hope among people that there is treatment for this disease.
Okay.
It is being misunderstood or causes a lot of anxiety among people, and they start stocking up everything.
Okay.
What people need to understand is that this is not something like property. If you are stocking up all these drugs and then for personal use, it is stupidity. Because when you're not infected, when you keep on be stocking up these medication just for safety sake, it is stupidity. And on the
Okay.
other hand, you are also preventing another person's opportunity to get treated. Take it
Yeah.
remdesivir or chloroquine or whatever that matter. When you stock up certain thing when it is not needed, it means that you're doing some stupidity. You're preventing another person's opportunity to survive. On the
Okay.
other hand, you stock up all these things and then try to make it a business, and then you advertise and then sell it for a very high price. All these things are, reflecting on the healthcare workers.
Mm.
That is something which is unacceptable.
Okay.
Not every doctor who is sitting and treating you is selling the medicine.
Okay.
In fact, many doctors have not received their monthly wages because the whole country is going through so much of financial crisis.
Okay.
Okay. In spite of all these things, if people who are healthcare workers, take it doctors, take it staff nurse, take it sanitation workers or policemen, we are all working because our profession is noble.
Okay.
That is the only reason why we are risking and putting our lives at risk. So at this point of time, it is not advisable to go and then keep
Okay.
on getting drugs and then stocking up. It's high time that people
Okay.
try to really change. I- I-
Okay.
For common people, it has become a habit to put the blame on the doctor. We don't,
All
keep a watch
others.
in our own behavior. We don't keep and start doing whatever we are supposed to do. You have not followed whatever,
Okay.
you don't have the habit of following whatever is being advised by a doctor. We get carried away by the media, we get carried away by WhatsApp messages, we get carried away by that one particular branding called as organic. When somebody
Mm.
says something is organic, we blindly go and then take it. Okay, that is problem. I'm asking you a question: where do medicines come from? Medicines also are derived from plants and animal products, yeah. Chemical
Yeah.
அப்படிங்கிற word, that particular word called as chemical is being branded as something horrible. We don't understand that humans are itself are made up of chemicals. We all are made up of chemicals. Everything that surrounds us is chemical. But a drug is being portrayed as a chemical. So when it is a chemical, why do you have to go and stock up and then load yourself when we say that it is dangerous for you to do this? In our country especially, we have a
Yeah.
very, very weird way of understanding about listening to doctors. We go and question the doctor for half an hour. We ask every possible question about the side effect. We walk out and then don't follow anything that the doctor has told. On the other hand, when you go out in alternative medication, just because they say organic, we don't ask any question. We totally put our trust based on the belief that we have. When you come to a doctor, please start trusting the doctor.
Okay.
Believe in the doctor, because the doctor is not somebody who is going to cause any harm. We are the ones who are being legally responsible for whatever we have been doing. So we are responsible in treating you. How
Yeah.
many patients have you seen going and then filing cases against alternative medicine practice? How many patients do you think have gone and then filed case against medical allopathic doctors? We at least take responsibility because we know that what we are doing is right. And we are really concerned. And this time, a time has come that we need to protect ourselves. So at least at this point of time, people need to realize that they need to gain knowledge. Gain
Okay.
knowledge from a proper source. Don't
Yeah.
follow whatever that comes to you through WhatsApp. If you want to know something about COVID condition, there are registered government approved websites where they are giving updates on an everyday basis. Go and check them rather than believing some stupid WhatsApp message that you are getting from some distant relative or a friend.
So I guess those website are like a little boring than the WhatsApp. We are getting more fancy stuff. So I guess that's why people are not following that, I guess.
Obviously, but tomorrow there will be a message. They'll put four emoticons with their tongues outside, and then they will tell you, if you forward this to 10 people, you won't get corona. You won't get
But
you went
yeah,
and
the
roamed,
people.
you went and roamed around the entire country, making sounds and cracking, bursting crackers. In fact, it is after that you got corona.
Mm,
So it is high time we stop this stupidity right now.
true, sir. True.
For media, it is business. For WhatsApp, it is business or boredom. The people
Okay.
who are sending that forward has no job. They're bored. So they just want to spread some information for no reason. Today morning, I am getting a forward from somebody. From this, and you
Okay.
please notice, in South India, you will always get people from somewhere in North India. Mr. Rahul Sharma.
I think the topic is deviating.
Is the practice this camphor thing. If you inhale camphor, everything will become all right. He practiced this with his
Hello.
own daughter-in-law. If you also practice, you won't get corona. What is this stupidity?
Okay,
They
sir.
don't understand
Okay,
that
sir.
children can get into camphor poisoning if they do
Okay,
that.
sir.
Okay, so it's right. It's high time that people start, understanding what is happening around them. There is no
Okay, sir.
cure for stupidity.
Sure, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
Right?
As you said, we try to be conscious about the forwards. And then
And one
my
small
next
request,
question is to,
one
sir.
small request, Pawan. At this occasion, I would like to ask all
Yeah,
the
sir.
participants to join the initiative that we have medical association.
Sir, we can't
We
hear you
have
properly, sir.
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now? At this occasion, I would like to request all the participants of this meeting to spread one initiative that we have taken from Indian Medical Association Kanchipuram branch. we have released a song which supports COVID vaccination awareness. Along with that, we also wanted to spread some hope for people who are frontline workers and for people who are really involved in many activities, many social activities. We want to convey this positive information that we as doctors still trust you, and we want maximum number of people to get vaccinated. So we have a channel called as 90 Decibels Music Studio, and IMA has collaborated with us, and then we have released our first Tamil COVID vaccination anthem. So I would request the team to
Okay,
share
sir.
the link with the group of people, so that I please request you people to share this link as much as possible. Try to keep this as your status and try to spread this in your social media, so that you will be spreading something good at this occasion. When the entire world is doing something wrong, you will be the one person who will be doing something good and right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You also mentioned about the awareness about the vaccine. So my next question is to Dr. Jain, sir. We had ever heard the term called like a proverb called like prevention is better than cure. Maybe this
Yeah.
proverb got outdated, and then that's why we are not vaccinating ourselves. So that's what I feel now. So and then now currently in India we are having almost three vaccines: Covishield, Covaxin, Sputnik 5, but predominantly Covishield and Covaxin are available in most of the medical centers. So, and also the major question arises from the participant is like, which vaccine is better? Which I need to take it up, and then which has less side effect? So, what's your comment on this, sir?
Yeah, nowadays vaccine is the only one thing to prevent the coronavirus infection effectively. First, I will tell the importance of vaccines. Patients are getting admitted with the symptoms of the COVID-19 infection or admitted in the hospital even after the 2 doses of the vaccine. But the main difference is that the disease in most cases is asymptomatic or either mild or moderate.
Okay, okay,
COVID infection after 2 doses of vaccines are never severe. And the main thing is
okay,
that lung involvement is very, very, very rare in people who are vaccinated.
okay,
And then one more thing is they identified even on RT-PCR, doing RT-PCR for vaccinated patient, the viral load is very, very minimal. So this is the
okay,
importance of the COVID vaccination. And coming to the vaccines, only all three vaccines are approved in India. As you said, Covaxin, Covishield, and Sputnik. But only two, Covaxin and Covishield, are in regular practice by the government. Coming to the Covishield, it is a recombinant COVID-19 vaccine mainly based on the viral vector technology. Whereas Covaxin, it is a old virion inactivated coronavirus vaccine.
okay,
So the
sir.
type,
Okay,
both are different types.
okay,
Coming to the dose, both Covaxin and Covishield, there are 2 doses, 6 to 8 weeks apart,
okay,
and both are intramuscular doses.
okay, sir.
Coming to the main contraindication for both the vaccines, pregnancy, lactation, and less than 18 years are absolute contraindications for both the vaccines.
Okay,
And some other contraindications are recent COVID-19 infections within 4
okay, sir.
weeks.
Okay, sir.
And other related contraindication includes bleeding and clotting disorders and patients on warfarin therapy.
Okay, sir.
Warfarin is an oral anticoagulation. So patients on warfarin is a relative contraindication for vaccine, COVID vaccine. And one more main contraindication is history of anaphylaxis or allergic reaction to
Okay,
previous any other vaccines or first dose of COVID-19 vaccine.
okay,
Coming to the adverse effects following immunization, both has only minimal side effects,
okay,
which include fever, mild headache, myalgia, loose stools,
okay,
and injection site pain and swelling, which are
okay,
minimal, which resolve spontaneously in 1 to 2 days post vaccination.
okay,
severe adverse effects are very, very rare in both the vaccines.
Okay.
And vaccine safety and efficacy both are high in both the vaccines, both Covishield and
Okay.
Covaxin.
Okay.
Efficacy is around 84 to 90% after
Okay.
2 doses of the Covishield and Covaxin.
Okay.
So vaccination is the only thing we should promote now to prevent the further COVID-19 transmission, COVID-19 virus.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, sir. So as you said, I learned from this is like it's better to get the second dose of the vaccine during the 6 to 8 week. I guess that's make our antibodies more
Yeah, one more thing.
better. I guess, no, sir.
Previously, government has stated that there should be 4 weeks interval between the first and second dose.
Yeah.
But nowadays, many studies they conducted in which second dose is most effective when we put the second dose after 6 to 8 weeks of the first dose.
Okay, sir.
So we will get more immune response.
Okay, sir. Okay. Oh, thank you, sir. My next question is to Dr. Arthana, sir. Sir, we have been seeing in this lockdown, the cases of substance abuse is increased so much. Also, the people have been standing in the queue for getting alcohol or other substance. Say that's going to unfortunately lead to transmission of the disease. And then the other part we also need to think is about the domestic violence. The substance abuse is getting ended up in the domestic violence against his wife or other family members. So, what do you want to convey to the people about this?
See, when it comes to substance abuse and domestic violence, I would like
Okay.
to first start with substance abuse. Right from the time that the first wave started, we have been again and again reassuring people that substance taking behavior itself is a problem, irrespective of whether this COVID situation has caused financial crisis or other kind of crisis. Substance taking behavior itself is a disease. So you need not give any reason.
Okay.
Okay. So you need to go and then treat yourself for substance abuse. And I would like to again reassure that domestic abuse is a crime in our country. So you need not justify that at all. Even if you are intoxicated, whether there is a valid reason for that, it doesn't matter. Domestic abuse and substance abuse is something that can be prevented if you want to. If you
Okay.
want to, get treated from substance abuse, please come to us. We'll treat you. We've got very
Okay.
good successful rates. So get treated rather than going and then standing in queue and then going and abusing your people. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Well said. And then my last question is about the pandemic. Like many healthcare workers and then other healthcare professionals are dying hard, and then they're missing their family, and then they're also like having fear that their family might get infected. Huge stress is over on the healthcare professional now. So, what do you feel like? Like people also supporting the healthcare professional now,
You're you're getting stuck. Da. Hello? Pawan, hello?
I think he's getting stuck, sir.
Ama, Pawan is stuck, I think.
Sorry, sir, he'll be joining soon.
Yeah, sure.
We have some network difficulties.
Yeah, that's okay.
hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Did you like listen to my last question, sir, or I need to repeat it again?
No, your question was not heard properly. Probably if you can switch off
Yes,
your
I'll repeat
video.
it. Sir, I'm already turned on my video. I'll repeat the question again, sir. Now we are seeing like more stress over the doctors, not only the doctors, other medical care professionals. Is that like people are supporting them, and then because even the medical professional family, they also having the family because they also like
No,
very
you
afraid
still
of
have network
their
problem.
own
Da. I
family
think
get infected because they're going for the duty daily, right, sir? Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Could you
Sir,
hear me?
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I got your question. I'll start
Okay, sir.
answering your question. Is that okay, Pawan?
Okay, sir.
So
Yes,
how
sir.
are
Yes,
we
sir.
going to handle this lockdown that is going to be, imposed, or that is going to come back again? How am I going to handle this fear of me going and infecting my own people? The best thing is that if you get infected, you try to isolate yourself. You check whether your
Okay, sir.
loved ones are also infected with the infection. In case if you are infected, then all of you can then stay. If you don't have any major symptoms, you can definitely stay together in a protected environment. That itself is going to cause a lot of betterment in your condition. And then get the doctor's advice. There is no point in then keeping on be worrying that if I go outside, I'll get infected and I'll go and then infect my loved ones. You try to be safe. Even if you go outside, you follow all the precautions, then you will be out of infection. You try not to get infected. Try to do the right thing
Okay, sir.
so that you won't get infected. And another
Okay.
new thing that is coming among
Okay.
students is that I'm going through a lot of online time. I'm going through a lot
Okay.
of classes online, so I'm getting very frustrated. So, in this particular aspect alone, I would like to tell something. Before 2 years, before this corona situation, all of us were playing PUBG. All of us were addicted to any kind of social media. Even now, it is still
Okay.
happening. We don't stop playing mobile
Okay.
games. We don't stop watching online movies, or we don't stop spending more time in our social media. So, this is
Okay.
not something new to us. You just
Okay.
need to change your attitude. When you can dedicate majority of your time in something that is absolutely
Okay.
useless, like playing games or seeing social media. You are now being forced into one situation because you will not be able to go and then put yourself into a live risk. That is
Okay.
why online classes are going on. So the
Okay.
best advice that I would like to give is, try to use your mobile phones or your laptops during you have classes.
Okay.
You gain a lot of information because that is the only thing which is going to help you survive, that
Okay.
is going to feed you. So that
Okay,
is
sir.
more important. Prioritize. When
Okay.
you just go and then use your mobile phone and laptops for your classes, and after the classes, don't use your mobile for a while.
Yeah.
The moment classes get over, you get into the habit of going to Netflix or YouTube or social media or games.
Okay.
Obviously, your stress is going to become more.
Okay.
Just because you are using this platform for studies, you cannot claim that it is causing a lot of stress,
Okay.
because that is going to give you knowledge. So if
Okay.
you don't want to get into that zone, don't use your mobile phones after you finish your classes.
Okay.
There are a lot of other things that you can do during lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn life skills also. Why don't you spend time with your parents? Why don't you spend time with your siblings? Why don't you learn how to cook? Why don't you learn how to clean? Why don't you learn how to wash your own clothes? These are all things which are
Okay.
essential than Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media it might be. We are spending so much of time in things which are not necessary at all. If you
Okay.
want to spend a lot of time with that, don't come and then claim that you are frustrated.
Sure, sir.
You know that this
Sure.
is causing a lot of trauma to your mental health, no? So don't do it. Do
Yes, sir.
gardening.
We try to change. Yeah.
Do gardening. You can play soft games inside the house. Just outside your
Okay.
house with the distance, you can play shuttle.
Yeah.
With the more contact you get with people, that there is more prone for infection. With distance, there are a lot of things that you can do. We are all human beings. We have been blessed with something called as an extra sense,
Okay.
right? Which animals or plants don't have. So for
Sure,
God's
sir.
sake, utilize
Well
that.
said.
It's the right time for you to utilize that. You can think. You keep yourself
Okay.
occupied. When you keep
Okay,
yourself
sir.
occupied throughout the day, there is no room for depression or frustration.
Okay.
And more than all
Okay.
these things, I would like to end my speech by saying that happiness is a choice that you make. It is not something that can be taken away from you. It is not something that somebody can give you. If you decide to be
Okay.
happy, you can always be happy at any situation that matters. So always try
Sure,
to
sir.
choose happiness. Always try to share your happiness.
Yes, sir. As you
Be
said,
safe,
we tried.
be safe,
Yeah.
and then choose the right things. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Guys, before we are going into the doubt session, I want to thank you all for patient listening. I hope the success of this session is not like we are gaining more followers in our professional Instagram page. I feel that we each and every individual need to awareness the other who did not listen this session. That's what I think the actual success is. That's why Dr. Arthana sir came and Dr. Jainan sir came for it because they are like very busy in their COVID duty schedule. They even did not know what the question is going to be asked today because I just know like I just confirm with them like the live is going to happen on this day, and then they even did not have time actually, to be honest. Also, they are very exhausted of seeing lot of patients. So I take opportunity of thanking Dr. Arthana sir and then Dr. Jain sir for wonderful support. I guess this might open the many people's mind actually. We thought this is the truth, that is the truth, because we also don't know. Also, we also sometimes believe the myths as medical students. So I think the oxygen supply and the remdesivir and the plasma therapy and then any other drug it can be. These are just a tool for saving the COVID-19 patient. But actually, it's like doctor and then other medical professional like Dr. Jainin or Dr. Arthanari, who is the actual soldier for winning against this COVID-19 infection war. So we need to, guys, realize this thing, and then we need to be isolated from from others. So that's what I want to end it up. And then now we can go into the doubt session. So you guys, like, if you have any doubts or any queries, you just add it in the chat box so that it can be um, like yeah, we'll be answering it for you guys. Once again. Sir, Dr. Zainis, I guess this question is towards you. Because many are telling like a prone position is like increasing the SpO2 level actually. Like there
Yeah.
are like many users are telling that it's actually true.
Yeah, it's true. Prone position actually increases the SpO2 levels in moderate to severe COVID-19 patients.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Actually, that is the protocol is called as awake proning.
Okay, sir.
Mainly, it is done in moderate to severe, moderate and severe patients. The procedure is that half an hour to 2 hours, patient should be in prone position.
Okay.
Then next half an hour to 2 hours, patient should be in left lateral.
Okay.
And the third cycle is another half an hour to 2 hours, the patient should be in right lateral.
Okay.
And then the fourth cycle is again half an hour to 2 hours, patient should be in upright position. Like
Okay,
that,
sir.
the cycle has to continue. It will
Oh,
improve
okay.
the both ventilation and perfusion of the lung, so that the
Okay, sir.
oxygen delivery to the peripheral tissue will be increased. Whereas
Okay.
in
Okay.
severe disease, it should be done for 16 to 18 hours a day.
Okay, sir.
It
Okay.
should be under strict strict observation. If
Okay.
it is not done correctly, patient may desaturate at any time, particularly ventilated
Okay.
patient. They can desaturate at any time, that
Okay.
leads to severe mortality. So awake proning
Okay,
position
sir.
should be done under strict observation.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay, you completed the answers. Okay, so I have the next
Ah.
question for you. So there we even asked like before getting vaccinated, is it important to check the CRP levels? Is that any?
Definitely not. No.
Okay, sir. No,
CRP
okay.
level has no role in before vaccination.
Okay, getting adverse
But thing
effect
is,
of
yeah,
vaccination. Okay.
it has no role
Okay.
to check CRP before vaccination.
Okay. Okay. So the next question is the people ask some individuals having comorbidities like hypertension and diabetes. Is that they
Okay,
can
bro.
take vaccination?
Vaccination. Vaccination
Yeah, so
comorbidity.
people yeah, comorbidity like hypertension
Yeah.
and diabetic patients. Yeah.
As I said before, as I said before in my vaccine question, only contraindication for vaccination pregnant females, but lactating females, and patients below 18 years of age. Comorbidity
Okay.
conditions like diabetes, hypertension, immunosuppressive drugs,
Okay.
cancer, chemotherapy, the, the, that is not a contraindication for vaccinate.
Okay, sir.
Thing is that
Okay,
they
sir.
should
Okay.
be vaccinated first,
Okay.
followed by normal people.
Okay, so okay, as you said, it's better to if the patients are having little bit comorbidity, it's better to consult your doctor and then get vaccinated. That might sound
Yes,
really good. Then the next question they asked
yeah.
is if the one second, sir. If the patient is one second, I just missed the question. Yeah, if a COVID patient having mild infection, is that they get any severe lung deformities? If yes, how could we know them? Like they're getting their lung is getting affected.
I
So
can't
did
hear
you hear
you.
me? Sir, actually they're asking like if your COVID
No,
patient is having a mild
can you
infection,
repeat the question? I can't hear you properly.
yeah, sir. If your
Yeah, yes, tell
COVID
me.
patient is having a mild infection, is that their lung also get
Okay,
affected?
ba.
And then if yes, how can we know that their lung is also affected by COVID infection?
Mild infection in the sense lung involvement we can only assess by doing CT chest.
Okay, sir.
Actually, mild infective COVID patient, they usually lung is almost not involved.
Okay.
Even for mild patient, if saturation levels less than 94, we will do a CT scan, and then we can
Okay.
assess the lung involvement based on the severity.
Okay.
Okay, even for mild cases, the CT severity score
Okay.
is less than 8%, as I told, 8/25.
Okay. Okay.
Only by doing CT chest, we can assess the lung involvement.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Okay, so one second. The next question, maybe we'll just have it as a last question and then we'll conclude this session.
Okay, ba.
Sir, after how long should an already affected COVID patient need to be get vaccinated? Like if they took the first dose and then they got infected by COVID and then when they need to take the second dose?
Now the recent studies, they said that after 12 weeks, that is 3
Okay, sir.
months. Previously, it
Okay, sir.
was only 8 weeks. Now they stated after 12 weeks, they should be revaccinated after the COVID
Okay, sir.
infection.
Okay, sir.
Hmm.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you guys for the doubt session. And then I take opportunity of thanking Meenakshi Medical College and Sun Pharma for making this live possible. And then Dr. Jainis, would you like to conclude anything? We are almost at the end of the session.
Thing is that only one thing to prevent the COVID infection or the COVID second wave is wearing proper mask in a proper technique, frequent
Okay.
hand washing, maintaining proper and strict social distancing, and
Okay, sir.
avoiding the crowded places. In
Okay.
addition to that, encouraging vaccination to the general public.
Okay.
These are the main 4 things that will prevent the further COVID-19 infection or reduce the burden of the COVID-19. That too, particularly
Okay.
in India, at the current
Okay.
scenario.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, sir.
as
Okay.
a medico, we should encourage others to get vaccinated and follow these strict
Okay, sir.
guidelines.
Sure, sir. Sure.
One small addition.
And then Dr.
I
Archana,
would
sir,
like to,
would you
yeah,
like to conclude, sir? Yeah, doctor.
yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, to whatever sir has added, since we all are the current generation, all of us are involved in more of social media and challenges, I would request, rather plead our younger generation to put up two challenges in their Instagram and their social media profile. One is get vaccinated challenge. Second one is quarantine
Sure,
yourself for the next 2 weeks. Self
that's there.
quarantine challenge for 2 weeks. You can trend something like this for a good cause. I
Sure,
believe
sir.
that youngsters of our country is the backbone.
Yeah.
So if we are strong, if we are resistant to any bad thing, we can actually put forward in making a very, very, very beautiful and wonderful community in future. I
Okay.
trust in our youngsters, and with persistent effect of youngsters, anything can change in a good way.
Okay.
So please start this get vaccinated challenge and self quarantine for 2 weeks challenge if possible. Thank you.